Good morning, everybody. Today we have with us our Honorable Secretary, Dr.R.S. Praveen Kumar Garu, and Dr. Praveen Mamidala, Joint Secretary for Social Welfare Institutions, Educational Institutions. So we have come here to discuss about various challenges that we have, initiatives that we have taken up, and finally how we want to leave with a sense of making a true teacher. Government of Telangana has established 53 residential degree colleges for the welfare institutions. These are all 52 are in social and tribal welfare and one is BC welfare. We have close to 20,000 or to be precise 20,600 students studying in these institutions, and they are guided by more than 1,200 teachers. So the biggest challenge that we have is how to make these residential degree colleges a true learning centers. So we have the honor of our secretary here. He would be sharing his vision and the mission with which he has been going through for the last 7-8 years. He is a true model for us and an inspiration. The very name inspired so many of us, sir. So we would like to share your ideas and views. So in these residential degree colleges, we have started a lot of programs and initiatives which are really new and innovative. First of all, we start with our 10 commandments, which almost all the students have imbibed them, sir. Whenever I have the opportunity of visiting and interacting with these students, they share one or the other commandment with me. The other day they were, when we were interacting with the workshop on constitutional rights, some of our students are participating in this. So they were sharing that the most interesting commandment, one student says that he found is 5th commandment, which is to be, I'm going to be honest, hardworking and punctual. So I was adding to that, honest to the true core, honest in identifying your strengths, honest in identifying your weaknesses. So and then honest in taking advantage of every program that the society is providing. Sir, we have a lot of innovative programs and all our colleges are striving hard to take the advantage of the young state, Telangana state, and so but still we do have little challenges. So we want your expertise today. Sir, first of all I want you to share your school days as a student. Do you have any teacher who has really inspired you and whose memories you are cherishing till day?
Thank you very much, Dr. Padmavathi and then Dr. Praveen Mamidala for arranging this wonderful and then potentially the most transformational session for the degree colleges. Thank you very much for all that. So coming back to the question that you have just asked is like, do you remember anybody who has impacted you so deeply? Yes, I do remember. So my first teacher was my mom herself. Then after that, I remember quite a lot of teachers, and then, but sadly, I don't remember. I don't remember the content that they gave us when I was a child. So that may have become part of my long-term memory, but sadly, I don't really get to apply most of the things that they have told me in my childhood. So although I remember their faces, but otherwise my childhood was a lot of fun, and then I had a lot of friendships which lasted for a very long time. Then I really liked the school, and then I really liked commuting from my home to school. Every day we used to walk for about 6 kilometers, and then there were no school bags in those days. So neither there were school buses, so whether it is rains or shines, and then whether it rains or shines, you have to walk and walk and walk. There used to be muddy roads and all that. So it was really nice. And then the evenings again we used to go for tuitions, taking lantern in our hands, and then that too, I'm talking about Nalamala forest days. In those days till 8th grade we didn't have even street lights in the villages, so that was a sad, but it was again a very exciting part. And then so all those memories are still green in my mind. So that was it. And but besides my parents, I also remember quite a few teachers who really gave us very good knowledge.
Sir, thank you, sir. It's really nice to hear that you still have those good memories of walking through, miles to reach your college. And when you were sharing that, you were enjoying the path. I read that Dr. Abdul Kalam was very much motivated by his teacher to observe nature. And it seems on his way en route to school, he used to pass through a lake where he used to sit down and watch all those birds and cranes flying on the lake, and he would dream of making a machine which can fly. So and it seems incidentally he chose his project in his graduation to make an helicopter.
Very nice.
So sir, do you think that our teachers can make many more such Abdul Kalams in our residential institutions?
Absolutely, absolutely. So every teacher is a potential or teacher, whatever Abdul Kalam had. So whoever teacher Abdul Kalam had, so same impact our teachers also can create. Absolutely, I have no doubt in my mind. I never had this doubt, and even while selecting all these teachers in recruitment boards, so we never had any doubt, because we have selected some of the best teachers Telangana can ever have. So our teachers have that potential, provided they break the shackles, provided they break the barriers which are between them and the students, and provided they break their own existing mental models, and then the archaic stereotypes. Like they have a lot of stereotypes, our people, unfortunately, and people unfortunately they are not able to go beyond what is visible. So as long as they get stuck in their past, they get stuck in their present, they will never be able to see their future. Probably Abdul Kalam's, APJ Abdul Kalam's teachers, probably they must have pushed him very harder to go beyond what is visible, so to think about something seemingly impossible. So probably those ideas, those nudgings would have definitely helped Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam to think about flying. So you see John Wright brothers. So when we learn a lot of we call it as biomimicry. So we learn a lot of things from nature. So whether it is the flying, or whether it is the symmetry or whatever. So all these things, unless teacher unpacks the world, unpacks the nature, unpacks the life to the students, I don't think students will be able to go beyond this. So, but I have a lot of hope on our teachers, particularly the teachers who have a lot of experience and the teachers who are very young. So for them also, like students, for teachers also, it is a very, very exciting journey. So I have a lot of hope on all these people that they will one day unlock the potential in the students.
Sir, thank you for that hope in all of us, sir. And with that hope and with that confidence, you really give us a lot of freedom to explore in our institutions. And we have lot of innovative programs, sir, right from starting from sports meet, which is done in a very huge way. And students, in fact, they start dreaming becoming sports person.
Really? That's
and
nice.
Sir, it's not exaggeration. Almost all university top sportsmen are from residential degree colleges only.
Very nice.
And in tribal welfare alone, there are more than 60 students who are playing, representing universities and states at national level.
Very good.
And many students, sir, they aspire to do some event or the other, the sports academy that we have started, and they want to explore these opportunities at this academy during their summer. They were asking us to design a summer internship for shuttlecock and things at sports academy. Sir, Praveen Mamidala garu is with us. Sir, one of the innovative programs that you do is the SURF, Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship, and we understand that many students have done internship abroad in different universities. Would you please like to share about this SURF program?
Yeah, Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for asking me a very good question. I also thank Honorable Secretary for giving me an opportunity to share all of my experiences in the recent past in the social welfare residential society. I first of all, good morning to all the viewers, principals and teachers on ground. So the SURF is a very innovative program. It's a brainchild of our Secretary R.S. Praveen Kumar sir, Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship. This fellowship is meant for the students to experience the ecosystem in the universities. It is not that only sending them to the universities, but once when they are in the second year, when they go into the universities like JNU or University of Hyderabad, Ajim Premji University or University of Toledo, 5 students are going to University of Toledo on March 2nd, and also 2 students will be joining into the Harvard University this year in the first week of June. It's all why we are doing this is when the student goes to such universities, first of all they will learn what exactly the research is going on, how they are updating their knowledge, and what are the recent innovations that are being made in such universities that are being developed. And besides that, they also get motivation, they'll get lots of energy to reach such universities. So for example, last year we have sent around 13 students to Jawaharlal Nehru University, and the moment they came back they started preparing for JNU. And we have sent around 40 students to the University of Hyderabad, and the moment they came back they are seriously preparing for University of Hyderabad entrance examinations, and out of 20 students they already got provisional selected for the MBA program into the University of Hyderabad. I hope out of 20 at least 10 may get a final admission into the MBA program. All the thing why we are doing this SURF is only to make them energized to reach or to join into the premier universities. Yeah, ma'am.
Sir, thank you, sir. Really, that SURF word itself, brings lot of momentum into our minds, the students' minds especially. And we have seen, I had an opportunity of interacting with students who have undergone this SURF, and then really they look very enthusiastic about their future, their frame. Also, we are helping them through this. You have a program with IICT research equipment. Would you like to add something on that, sir?
Yeah, the future is not not the students with the degrees, but the students with the skill set. So majority of students, even after the MSc chemistry, they do not know how to operate a pH meter, or they do not know how to hold a test tube. So we thought that it's better to have exposure to the top-notch institutes like Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, where they will be nurtured by the senior most scientists or postdocs or research scientists, and they will try to understand how to operate the equipments, or how to formulate the reactions, or how to carry out the reactions. Right from fundamentals, they try to adopt the best practices, how to be in a laboratory. So such skills definitely once they complete the MSc chemistry or whatever in MSc life sciences, I am sure they will have more opportunities getting a job, because industry is now looking for the students or for the people who are skilled but not with a 70% distinction in MSc or a university top ranker. They never care the degrees, but they have if they have the skills, I am sure they have lots of chances of getting a good employment in industries or in top-notch universities.
Thank you, sir. Actually, even UGC and MHRD keep discussing about integrating our institutions with industry and employment. I think in our residential institutions, we are far ahead in that aspect. We are able to take students to industries, even in a small initiative like a field visit, sir, in our degree colleges. Students visit, nearby industry to the institutions, and they really explore. They spend a whole day, and then immediately they come back and they plan how to enter those industries. What are the skills that I need? What are the degrees or graduation? How to equip themselves to reach those industries. So all these programs and initiatives, definitely they are innovative and unique. In a sense, unique to our residential institutions, sir. Not many institutions take up these sort of programs, but sir, always these teachers I feel there's still much more that they can do, but they are unable to, as you were saying that they need to look at the future and then plan accordingly. So, sir, these days, if they want to impart only knowledge, as the saying goes, knowledge is available at a mouse click. So, how can these teachers, I mean, what is that is needed for these teachers, so that technology don't take away all these teachers? How they should perform, or rather, what are the skills, or how should they do, so that use the technology to make their classrooms more interactive, rather than I mean, they should take care that technology doesn't replace a teacher. So your
all right. Thank you, Dr. Padmavathi, for asking this question. I'm very happy that you have titled this program as "Let's Be True Teachers." I am definitely not a classic teacher who have done his MEd or PhD in education, or appeared for TET or SLET or UGC NET and then joining these colleges. But I will speak from the perspective of a student, son of two teacher parents, then a student, then occasional tutor in a National Police Academy and then other academies. I keep going to those academies to talk to all the trainees who are going to man the entire police administration in this country. So I have been called by many academies, and then I will also talk from the perspective of being a student in India as well as student in some of the world's best universities. So at the very outset, I am very happy that you have asked me this question, and then you have thrown a challenge as to how to define a true teacher. For me, true teacher is the one who understands the true strength of a student. So if you don't understand and if you don't estimate the true strength of a student, I think whatever you do in the classroom is just a overhead transmission. That is wastage of time, OHT we call. So either it will be a cognitive overload or it will be a cognitive wastage. So in either case, it will not help the student at all, neither it will help the teacher. So the true teacher is the one who understands the potential of the student. Then when you say potential, like most of the teachers, I am speaking from the experience of a administrator of educational institutions. I have been administering these institutions since 2012, and then as far as the attitude is concerned, I don't see a great difference between the junior lecturers and the degree lecturers, or the school teachers and the lecturers. Attitude wise, almost all of them are same, and then everybody's, you still have in the lot of 100, so you always have about 30 to 40% people who are very enthusiastic, who are intrinsically motivated. Despite the bad principles, they will continue to teach well, or if they are given a little bit of push, they give their best to the students. And then you always have a kind of 30 to 40% average people, and then 20%, the remaining 20% is always demotivated, skeptical, and then frustrated perpetually for no reason, and then they just keep watching the show. So I think every organization will have this composition. I think because in mathematical terms you call it as a normal distribution, but yes, my distribution is slightly skewed. So, but otherwise, the normal distribution, you have 20 on either side, and then you have 60% in the center. We call it as bell-shaped curve. So, as a statistician, all these things. But the real teacher is the one who understands the potential too. Then who understands which students learns in which way. So the way some students learn, visual learners, some students are auditory learners, some students need caring, some students need touch. So some students, you need to be taking them to your chamber and then talking to them, all these things. So I think my idea of a true teacher is the one who personalizes learning, personalizes teaching. So most of our teachers, what I have observed in the last, what I have been observing in the last 8 years is, like most of them, they get overwhelmed. When you see you go to a degree college, you see suddenly, sir, 20 or 40% of the students from Telugu medium, and then I have been asked to teach in English medium, and then these people do not understand the basics of the subject, and then you ask me to go for a flipped classroom. I think that is where you need to hold your nerve, and most of our people are losing their nerve at this juncture. So the moment you face the challenge, and then suddenly you, oh gosh, these are people do not understand how to read and write in English, and then now secretary or the management, my deputy secretary, joint secretary is asking me to teach in English, and then my principal is breathing down my neck, and then how can I do it? So that is the fundamental problem. So you don't understand your own bearings, and then you forget you have the potential to personalize the learning, you have potential to segregate the students who are really struggling to learn, and then making those who are best in the classroom to, tagging those people to those people who are not able to, find their bearings, and then create a buddy pair system or create a quartet system or create a smaller groups wherein there can be a lot of horizontal and collaborative learning. Most of our teachers, they don't want to do it. And then most of our teachers, one day I went to a school called Telkapalli in Mahbub Nagar, now it is Nagar Karnool district. I met a teacher called Bhagya Lakshmi. She has been I wanted to stay in the school for about 3 hours, and then she was continuously speaking 40 minutes one period, second she goes to 7th grade, third she goes to 8th grade, and then after that she goes to 9th grade, and then continuously she was speaking. I asked, ma'am, I am amazed at your energy, I am amazed at your lung power, but I asked her, are you not bored?
Sir.
He said, sir, I have no other choice. So my point here is, you can give half of your teaching job to your students. That is where the smartness. Most of our teachers, they do not understand this. They think that teaching is only, speaking, writing on the blackboard, dictating the notes, and then taking the question banks, and then most probable questions. So, and what are the common questions which have been appearing in the examinations for 7-8 years, and these are the gunshot questions, and then we only look at making the children pass that 35% barrier. So okay, you brilliant teacher, anyway, brilliant students, anyway they get gifted students, they get anyway close to 90 or 100%. But those people, now your entire focus will be on those people who are struggling to learn, and then your job will be only to push. So how long will we do? Then we lose focus on the very essence of teaching, is introducing or hand-holding the children to a world of huge possibilities, world of kind of mesmerizing world, very beautiful world, a world kind of enchanting spaces. So there you should be taking the students, but all that essence is lost. Now you are only focused on pushing 35%. So that is one of the, in the course of discussion I will be able to share many more my experiences. But for your question, the true teacher for me is the guy who to understands how to teach, and then how students learn. If there are 40 students, what are the patterns in learning?
Yes.
In class of 40 is something which
Sir, as you rightly pointed out that normal curve, and you said our institutions are skewed towards the positive. We have 30%.
Yeah, they are skewed towards positive. Yes.
Yeah. We have 30% good teachers. Similarly, sir, our observation is even our classrooms are not the normal curve. They are skewed. We have about 30-40% of the students who are eager to learn, who want to do, who have a dream, to acquire something. They are all really having very good dreams, and so if these teachers can help them how to realize the dream, they will have to only show them the path which leads to their dream.
Absolutely.
So if the true teacher, as you were saying, to be able to understand these students, to reach to the students, and making them realize that dream. Sir, before joining this institution, we know that you have done a course at Harvard University.
I did my master's in Harvard.
Yeah, would you like to please share with us the kind of teachers or experience?
See, yeah, very good question. Thank you so much for asking this question. I'm very happy to share my experience in Harvard as a father, as a a husband, and then as a student as well. So we went, all of us, we went to Harvard. Although only I was allowed to, I was given admission in Harvard, but I wanted to take my wife and children, all of us. My wife is working as a director of marketing, so she also applied for long leave, and then she came with me along with the kids. So at any point, a given point of time, all of my two children, they were going to school there. So then I was also going to school, and then all of us, we were, the moment you come back, then again you open your computers and start doing homework, either assignments and homework.
Okay.
And I was 44 years then. My children were in 6th grade and 8th grade, and then I was also carrying books, and they were also carrying books. And then when they come home, nobody used to talk to each other, so everybody was busy. And then only during dinner we used to. Absolutely. So all students in family. So my wife used to be a moderator. So if there is any discussion, debate, etc., etc. So it was really a fantastic experience. I can never forget in my life. I'm being very emphatic about this statement, ma'am. Because there is nothing like false. There is nothing like mistake.
Oh.
Human beings are allowed to say anything and still get away with it. And that is the beauty of that society, unless somebody is not really offended. Otherwise, you can always, say anything, share your perspective, no matter however rebellious, however radical the idea is, you are still allowed to share, and then there can be a lot of debate, and then the entire classroom conversation is very democratic. To be very honest, my father is a math teacher, ma'am, but you believe it or not, I had learned the beauty of, I have tasted the flavor and then the beauty of mathematics only after I joined Harvard.
Oh.
What a tragedy. My father, he created so many engineers, and then most of them are settled in the US. So they keep on, Telangana chief engineer, chief engineer roads and buildings is my father's student even today, Mr. Ganpat Reddy. So, but issue is not that. So there, even in mathematics also, there are 100 possible ways of solving a problem. But here they say only one solution, but there you have 100 solutions. And then first thing what they did was they broke the ice, because 80 people coming from 80 different countries, and nobody knows each other, and then there were a lot of fun loving sessions, then ice breaking sessions. For first 1 week there were a lot of ice breaking sessions. I wish degree college also first 1 week there could be a lot of ice breaking sessions where teachers and students bond with each other. Okay. Then second thing what I found in that was you have bridging session, like I have been talking, even 5th class also we have bridging, there also have bridging. Like Harvard is all about data. So if you don't have control of your data, if you don't analyze your data, if you don't interrogate your data, so if you don't squeeze your data, you will never get the truth. So, but you don't have the techniques, and then some people are politicians, some people are ministers, some people are would-be presidents, but all of them will be made to understand the basics of data. So, you will be going to measures of central tendency, measures of regression, randomized control trials, and then sampling procedures. So, median, mode, variance, what not, everything, coefficient of relationship, coefficient of correlation, then regression, then probability, all these basics are again taught to the students. And then I had a New Zealand professor. So he was such a cool guy. So we made a lot of mistakes. Some people used to take off, and some people used to come with the Valium tablets too, because they were so tensed up with mathematics. So diazepam, Valium, and then he said no need. He used to ask all of them to junk all those tablets and then make the students learn. So that is another second thing which I have learned. I really like the way that was mathematics and the other gaps were bridged. Third, ma'am, writing. Sure. We are not a professional writers. We are not a writing nation. I want to be very honest with you. So we are not a writing nation. Writing and reading, we used to be reading nation. Now reading after, thanks to you. You talked about distractions. I am very happy you broached this topic. But we are highly distracted. Stuff in Western societies also now they are struggling with distraction. So, but certainly we are not a writing nation. So writing is not in our heart. But there you are taught to write. Every moment, whatever that is said, you are asked to write. Write in paragraphs, like first paragraph, second paragraph. Writing is taught there as a science, ma'am. Writing is taught there as a life-saving skill.
Sir.
So if you can't write, then you can't, survive in the Western society. So writing is very, very important. My dream is to make our degree colleges as writing institutes, be it academic writing, be it creative writing, be it argumentative writing, whatnot. So everybody should be writing. So you hardly see a person who has not written a book in the US. So the moment I used to go from my home to college in public transport. So the moment you get into the bus, people open their books. So every lady, every gent will have. So if they don't open the books, they have Kindles, and then they have mobile phones, smartphones, and then they open the books and then keep on reading, and they don't talk to each other, no disturbance. If that is not possible, they'll use the earphones and then they listen to the audiobooks. Then the fourth thing is, every course the students are expected to read and come to the course. If you don't read and come to the course, you will not be sent out, but you will feel isolated. So without anybody talking to you, you will feel humiliated and you feel sad that you could not contribute anything to the class. And then you have voluminous books, and then one person cannot read every book. So what they do, students smartly what they do is they form themselves into subgroups. So every subgroup takes a chapter in the book, and then they come with their own talking points, and then they talk to each other, and then okay, today Father or Professor Brian Eyre is going to teach politics and ethics of statecraft. So today I am going to share this point, and he is going to share this point, and she is going to share this point. We are all one group. So there will be a lot of debating, there will be a lot of sharing of ideas, and then half of the lecture will be all sharing of ideas. So professor intelligently will be gathering all the data, and then he will be writing all those things on the blackboard. You'll be surprised, very rarely Harvard professors use PowerPoint presentations. They use the blackboard. Our people always clamor for, sir, we want digital classroom. I feel very sad. So all famous professors, you take Richard Feynman, you take Ronald Heifetz, everybody, so they use blackboard. They come with the handwritten notes, and then they use blackboard. The more points you tell, the more blackboard they will be they'll be writing on the blackboards. So remaining 40% of the 30% of the time, professor what he does is he collates everything and finds the patterns in the data that you have shown, that you have thrown at him in the form of your contribution. So he finds the patterns, and then he lays out the summary of the entire thing, and then he asks the class, do you agree with this? Then again class debates, and finally they come to a conclusion, and still it is not final. Then you are asked to solve the word problems. So you have Wuhan, like say coronavirus problem. You have conflict between China and America. You have conflict between India and China. Conflict with India and Pakistan. So you have a Me Too problem. You have sexual abuse in the workplaces. You have racial discrimination. You have climate change. All these global problems are divided into subsets, and then these problems are given to the students. Okay, your weekends, you go back, you sit somewhere, you sit in the lounge, or sit in the pub, or sit in the bar and restaurant, wherever you go, but come with a solution. And every student will be referring so many books and coming with an assignment. And you are expected to present that. So today, if you ask me how many things you have remembered, then I can tell you all the problems that in one class I did a course in Harvard Divinity School. The title of the course is Faith in Action. So the faith in action, the challenge given to all the students is, can you create a religion? Can you create a God like Shiva? If yes, there were 20 to 25 students in the class, and everybody came with his or her own conception of religion, and then they created religions. Imagine a group of 25 youngsters creating, everybody was creating a religion and then presenting it to the professor. Yeah, this would be my religion, and these are the spiritual practices, these are the non-spiritual practices, etc., etc. This will be my temple, and this is how I want to influence the people and create a religion.
Sir, it's
So
really
it's really transformational. Like in our societies, we can't think about all this. Gosh, it is a blasphemy. Like in some places, like Pakistan, people have been shot dead. What I'm trying to say. So this is how the universities behave in there. So there are sanctuaries of free thinking. So then another thing, there is no distinction between teachers and students. The teachers invite students for dinner, and then they take them to restaurants, and then 7-8 students, a group of 7-8 students, they have dinner with the professors. So while having dinner or lunch, they
discuss,
open up. Then sometimes students treat the professors. Students, sir, professor would like to have a coffee with you in Harvard Square. Can you please come and have coffee with us? For that, you need to seek an appointment at least 1 month in advance.
Okay.
So yeah, so that is how it goes. And then people cry. They are very open about their emotions. They cry, they laugh, they do everything, and then there will be a lot of free discussion. And when it comes to writing, ma'am, though it doesn't mean that you and I had lunch outside, and then I'm a student, you are a professor, and then when it comes to assignment gradation, the evaluation of assignment, it will be business again. So if I deserve to get C, and just because you paid for my lunch, I'm not going to give you A+. You will get C only. So and then you will be given a lot of
ethics are practiced.
Absolutely, and then there is no open announcement of grades. It is all personalized.
Yes.
So if I have to counsel Dr. Praveen Mamidala, then I say, please come and see in my room. Or if you have any doubts, please come and talk to me. And then they will go to each and every point. For that, they use teaching assistants. All seniors will be used, interested seniors are used as teaching assistants. Teaching assistants will grade the papers. Here in our societies, we expect teachers to do all these things. How many things teachers will do? Teachers are also human beings. So teachers will, most of, I think Hyderabad Central University and some of the top-notch universities may be following this, but I have no idea. But otherwise, teachers give it to teaching assistants do all these things. Teaching assistants also give remedials. Then they will come back and then they will share with the professor, and then professors will have a rough idea of what's happening. So, and I thought it is only with adults. Then I went to my school in which our children were studying. That was much more freedom-loving school. So just to understand how Egyptian mummies, they wrapped a student with all the class, and then they made the students peel it off very carefully. So they to make them understand how paleontology and then anthropology works. So what is that we dig, and then what is that science? I don't know, archaeology. So to make them understand archaeology, they first hide some bones in the earth, and then finally they ask the students to give the brush and then all these implements, and then they go and then they dig it out, children, and then they enjoy it. So that's how it's all experiential, it's all freedom loving. To make them understand about space, they call the space scientists, they call the astronauts, and then they make them talk to them, and most of them, they volunteer, they don't charge anything. So even why to go that far? Actually, in Ajim Premji University, I have been called for quite a few times. In the Ajim Premji University, they call activists, they call the bureaucrats, they call senior citizens, and then they ask them to share. So that person will be sitting in the classroom, and then students are encouraged to ask the questions to that person. So why can't we do that in our classroom? So you learn from why can't my grandmother be called to the classroom and asked her to portray the history which she had seen? She is a living example, living testimony of the entire history, which you and I have no access, but it is there in her memory. Why can't we use that? So that is what, and on and off they call a lot of experts, and then they give a lot of lectures, like person like Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. So Barack Obama, the people who worked for Barack Obama, the people who are waging wars against their states, all these people are called, and then everybody is asked to share their perspective, and then that's how you slowly start unlocking your potential. That's how Western societies are there. And then the most important thing which I still remember, which I would love to do again and again, is problem solving exercises.
Okay. So
If Dr. Padmavathi is made as president of China, how will you contain coronavirus problem? If Hyderabad had to face Wuhan type of crisis, if you are a mayor of Hyderabad, what will you do? Please lay down the steps. If you can't do it alone, then take Dr. Praveen Mamidala as your team members. Then I'm giving you 1 week. Go out, go and hit the road, and then go out and then collect as much data as possible. If you have to interview our Honorable Chief Minister Sri K. Chandrasekhar Rao Garu, or Honorable Welfare Minister Koppalaishwar Garu, what are the questions you are going to ask? And then if possible, go to our Honorable Minister and then conduct his interview, then give us the answers. These are some of the exciting things which are available in Western universities.
Sir, really, when you are sharing, it's quite exciting, sir. I remember my son, when he was doing a community exercise, he was digging the field of one farmer. Then he came back, with joy, and he was sharing. I now realize the density of earth is not same. It layers, deeper you go, the density is more. So when you were saying experiential learning, they come to realize only when they touch.
Absolutely.
with their hands.
Absolutely.
And then,
See, in policing also, like when I joined, like all of us, none of us, we dreamt that we will become police officers. But when I joined the district for training, the first thing my SP told us, go, there was a murder, go and then hold the body, dead body, and then bring it to the mortuary. Imagine, I had a shock of my life. Gosh, I never touched any dead body, and then I'm scared of, in childhood, you are scared of death. If there is a murder, then for 10 days, you will not sleep. So, we had fever when there was a murder just, 500 yards away from my home. The body was thrown. It was a murder. So, for 5-6 days, we always used to think about ghosts and then that person coming and then holding your, throat and all that. So, slowly we started understanding, touching the body and then holding it, and then whether it is hot, whether it is warm, whether it is cold, and then you have rigor mortis and all that, and then you see at the eyeballs. So slowly you got, and then later they took us to the postmortem rooms. So how postmortem is, how body is cut, all that. So you slowly go through the experiential learning, and then I remember all those things even today, because that is what policing is all about. So, yeah.
Sir, really you have given us the correct insight of how learning happens.
Yes.
Through learning, and you were saying that you remember each and every problem that you have solved. That itself, no exam is required, sir.
Absolutely, ma'am. You got it absolutely right. No exam is required. If you are drenched every day in this problem solving exercise, no exam is required. You can write, in fact, you can write much better than your own examiners, and examiners will be amazed. I'm very happy to share with you, I had the opportunity of evaluating the papers written by a group of officers, and then as an examiner, when you evaluate the papers, we gave full marks to those people who not only had basics but who had real-time application, and then who presented the entire data in a very brilliant and then cogent and logical manner, in a brief form. I did not give marks to those people who wrote reams and reams of papers, which was of no use. Yeah, it's really time consuming, and then same thing holds good for all civil services examination and every examination for that matter.
Sir, Mamidala garu, now in all our institutions, we are working towards all-round empowerment of our students. So in this, even in social welfare, you have done lot of things. Sir, what kind of skill sets do you think are needed for our teachers to bring this sort of all-round development in our students?
Yeah, ma'am. To continue the conversation and to also answer your question, very interesting. I would like to share my recent experience. I attended a workshop in Bangalore for 3 days, and those 3 days we have 2 sessions per day, and it was like 6 sessions. And after every session, like it was around 2 hours 30 minutes after every session, the rapporteur after the session completed, she asked us, please write whatever you understand, and in simple English, for 5 lines, with 5 lines, not more than that, for 5 minutes, and you can write only 5 lines or more than 5, 6, 7 lines. And after second session also she repeated the same, and everyone is seriously writing. And after every session, like after 6th session, almost everyone is with around 30 to 40, 50 lines of the entire workshop.
So they are made to write.
Right. Somehow we written. And after this, and the last day and the last session, she asked us, please give your valuable time for 10 to 15 minutes to us, and now crystallize these 30 lines into 10 lines. And then everyone has made 10 lines story of the 6 sessions. And now she asked us, can you create a poem with these 10 lines? And everyone tried, and we written a poem. And he also asked us that can you put, or can you keep a title for this wonderful poem? Then everyone, we had given a title for that poem. And out of 100 participants, we created 100 poems. And
in
we
3
created
days
in 3 days. And out of 100, because we did not got opportunity to everyone, but 10 came on to dance and they shared their poem. It was excellent. So
sir, to add to this, sir, in one of the workshops in mathematics, at Pondicherry Central University.
Right.
The teaching methodology adopted by that trainer is he would write the entire theorem, proof, problem, solution on the board.
Right.
He will not allow the students to write while he is teaching.
Right.
He would erase everything
Right.
and then make the student write the
Yeah.
theorem.
Yeah.
He'll give some 10 minutes time or so.
Yeah.
And students, obviously they won't remember the entire thing. They will start talking to each other. And you know, somebody would remember from last, somebody would remember in the middle.
Correct.
So finally, so when they take a break, again they keep discussing about this theorem and then the solution for this problem only. And they come out, end of the day, the solution is there. Sometimes it turns out to be an alternative solution to the problem
Correct.
also. So this simple intervention, simple methodologies
Right.
would bring huge, I mean the real learning actually happens.
Right. So yeah, ma'am, to continue this conversation again regarding the empowering the teachers, the important thing what I observed, because I am a teacher, basically I taught the undergrad students and postgrad students and also PhD students. What is that missing in Indian education system is teachers never try to update themselves. This is one of the major challenge in the Indian education system. I will tell you my experience in my China. I was there for 3 years nearly in Shanghai and then in USA for around 3.5 years. The teaching is very simple. What they do is before they start semester, they will try to share the complete content of that semester with the students for a week time, and then the teacher will tell the students what are the references books they have to refer, and slowly students will try to understand the content on their own, and later if they don't follow any points or any important lessons, they will try to ask teachers and declare doubts. But the teacher will start teaching the students by giving the recent research articles of that subject. This is in undergraduation, ma'am, not in post-graduation.
Okay.
In undergraduation, they will give you a research article and they will ask the students what is that innovation you find in the article, and what is that methodology they are found, they had applied to solve the problem. And if you are a researcher, or if you are the person trying to solve that question, how you solve, or how you conclude, or how you give a title for this paper. So that is the level of the teaching in undergraduation. Whereas in our schools, or in our particularly in undergraduate system, teacher will come with the old notes which was prepared by their teachers. So they will simply write on the board or simply teach, and simply they will make students to write whatever they teach. This system is being continuing since last 20 years, what I am seeing. So if teacher can change themselves, like referring reference books or very good textbooks, or referring to online tools, we have several online, NPTEL for example, MOOCs, we have several online tools now, online sources. So if they can download these such content and update the students, I think there will be a huge change in the teaching community.
As you were saying that research and teachers, actually UGC norms also, sir.
Yeah.
If you think that you are working for 7 hours a day, 42 hours, it expects that classroom teaching would be only for 18 hours.
Right.
So rest of the time a teacher is supposed to engage himself in reading and bringing articles and making students write the articles, take them on a field visit, discuss with them. So 42 hours UGC has clearly earmarked. But as your observation goes, most of our teachers, they don't even spend time for preparing the classes. And that is where I think so the gap, we are expecting, the society has a very clear vision what to do with these students. But then the teachers, because they are not able to understand the society, or they are not able to put in their soul into the work.
Yeah.
I think so that is where the gap is. Sir, could you please suggest how we need to improve the personality of our teachers, so that our students can really face the world outside the classroom?
Thank you very much for asking this question. It's really a very cool question. At the very outset, I feel there's nothing wrong in the personality of our teachers. They're really good human beings, and then they have all the qualities of being a great teacher. Absolutely, I have no doubt about it. All they need is a little bit of guidance, then a little bit of nudging, and quite a huge amount of recognition as well. Most of them have been doing a phenomenal job. Otherwise, we cannot be 50% ahead of all other universities in terms of our results. But that's not what we should be looking for, to be adaptive to the challenges in the 21st century. It's just not enough. So what I suggest out of my experience and then out of my interaction with so many great teachers in my life and then in my day-to-day administration. See, one important thing is you need to prepare before you go to any session. For example, yesterday Dr. Praveen Mamidala and then Dr. Padmavathi, they prepared these notes. So this is kind of a talking points. And the talking points are the crystallized versions of their thoughts and then of their experiences and of their interactions with other people. So all of them, all those interactions, all the essence of that interaction has been brought down to 20 or 10 talking points. This is called as preparation. So I expect all the teachers to go with a lot of preparation. When you go with a preparation, there is something called logos, ethos and pathos. So you need to appeal to the people. You need to have that credibility. If you don't have credibility, you need to build up that credibility. Your content has to be credible, your content has to be updated, your content has to be appealing, and you need to have that credibility. If you don't have that credibility, then you are not going to do it. Like suppose if I talk about the battery and energy, and then if I give a class on energy, then people won't pay attention at all because I am not an energy expert, right? So if I talk about say probably the investigation of a burglar, investigation of murder, investigation of sexual assault, probably people will still pay attention because in my earlier avatar, I worked as a police officer, right? So if I talk about managing the teachers and then running administration, still people would pay attention because I am running the organization. But if I talk about dissection, then opening the body or say mathematics, etc., I don't have any credibility. So you need to build up that credibility. You should be sure about what you are talking. If you are not sure about your content, and you should be ready for all questions that will be shot at you like a rapid fire. So you should be ready to answer. So for that you need to prepare. Then you should bring in variety into the content. You cannot be teaching what you have taught yesterday.
Yes.
Otherwise, why should I listen to you? Because you only told that everything is available at the click of the mouse. Unfortunately or fortunately, we don't have that click of the mouse available to our students. So our people are caged listeners. They are caged listeners, unfortunately, captive listeners. They are the captives. They have no other option but to listen to you. So, but if you give option, then our people, 50% of people, they will switch off. Ma'am, we have, where that information is, whether it is Wikipedia, whether it is Edutopia, whether it is, Encyclopedia Britannica, or you go to Google Baba. So you type it in Google and then you have hundreds and thousands of answers. If you don't have anything in Google, then you go to Quora. Quora, and then you ask a question in Quora and then you get the answer. So in that case, then what is that new thing you are giving to the students? What Google cannot give you, I will tell you. What computer cannot give you, what internet cannot give you, I will tell you. Computer cannot give you a personal experience. Your personal experience is purely personal experience. How you feel about the content, how you experience the content, what are the emotions that flow through your mind and body when you see the content, Google can never give. So that is where you bring in the variety into the instruction. So I expect all the teachers to bring in that variety. Then it adds seriousness. Then fourth thing, if I am not allowed to talk, like suppose if you talk always in this as a moderator, if you dominate the session, then I will lose all my interest. Then why should, when she is talking, then why should I, why did you call me? Then students also think when I am not allowed to talk, when I am not allowed to express my feelings, then why should I sit here? Anyway, I cannot physically go out because you will mark me absent. So I will keep and then I will switch off my mind. Then what is the use? I am a passive listener and then I am not contributing anything. So you should be able to scratch the brain of students and tap their sources of knowledge is something which if I were to be a teacher, I would do that. Okay. Then many people will ask me, sir, you have not given us quotas, you are asking us to do 100,000 duties, and then you are also asking us to make night outs in the students, in the hostels or in the colleges. What a wonderful opportunity it is. Staying with the students. We used to love our internship programs, because where we used to go with the students, and then our professors used to come with us, and they used to stay with us, and then they used to share all their stories with us. They used to share all their challenges with us. They used to share the stories of their friends. That's how you show the role models. That is what role modeling is all about. Then you slowly start getting inspiration. Sir, please connect me to your friend. Connect me to friend of your friend, who has gone to the US, who has gone to Australia, who is doing great research, and who has discovered this, discovered that. So if I were to be a teacher, I will bring a lot of personal stories and then share it with the classroom. Then when you travel, because you have no time to prepare, so when you travel, now you have all smartphones, and then you have podcasts. There are so many podcasts available on so many things. Just to have, all you have to invest is 2 earphones, and then when you travel for about half an hour, or some people travel for 1 hour. So when you travel, just listen to all those things and then make a mental note of it. If you don't have mental note, then at least type it in your mobile phone, and then when you go to staff room, you convert it into teaching notes, and then start sharing all that you have learned in the while during your travel. So also you bring currency into that. Like you see the newspaper, there are a lot of problems appear in the newspapers. So you bring those incidents into the newspaper, and then start your class with the conversation. Like say 2 Dalits are hacked to death in a particular state, or some women are sexually assaulted, or the Nirbhaya rape case versus our Disha rape case. So why is that that is happening in why is that the justice is delayed somewhere, and why is that something else is happening in our state? So can we compare, and then what is right and what is wrong? You understand? So you create a conversation in the classroom, and I think these current events can be discussed even in mathematics class.
Yes.
So these current events can be discussed in a social studies class. These current events can be discussed in computer science class. So there is no bar. For 5 minutes you discuss, then children will be active. Oh gosh, this is such an important problem. Okay, now let's come back to coding. Let's come back to programming. Let's come back to pattern recognition. Let's come back to algorithm. Let's come back to this language. So like that you keep on playing with the emotions of the students. So for that you need to have a grand plan. Teaching is no less than directing a movie. You have to write the script. You have to find the actors. Then you have to find where is the plot and how do you introduce the characters and where the plot, and then suddenly how you take it to the climax. And then when you leave the classroom, leave with 3 important questions. 3 important questions. Children or students, I still have doubts on these 3 issues. I would be really happy, and I would really appreciate if you can tomorrow when we meet, if some of you can come with the answers, and then you leave the class with 3 questions. Those 3 questions will linger in the minds of students even if they go to dormitory. If I am a police officer, if I see a sexual assault, and then if that person is there, then if I were to be in that case, what would I do? I have moral confusion. So what will you do? Will you follow the law? Will you not follow the law? So all these things will. So tomorrow there will be a lot of discussion in the classroom. So first 5 minutes you handle those questions, then jump into the next lecture. So another important, children love to learn from those people who love them unconditionally. So children learn from the people. Children means, when I say children, even adults also.
Yes.
They learn from the people who love them unconditionally. This is underlined, bold and italics. You have to love children unconditionally. You must be accessible. You must open up your mind so that they also open up their minds, and then remove all the barriers, and then there will be a seamless flow of emotions between you and your student. So the way you dress, children copy. The way you speak, they copy. If you are very well groomed, then they also groom like that. If you are traditional, if you have all the stereotypes which nobody should have, so children also develop all those stereotypes. So if you are highly unscientific in your thinking, children also become unscientific, including your own biological children. So that is a problem. Like for in my home, so every day we try to bust those stereotypes. My wife and I, we consciously try to bust those stereotypes so that we present a new generation of youth to our nation. We don't want our children to get stuck in the same old archaic stone age thinking and then get rotten at one point of time. So a teacher needs to continuously, like if you read a novel, then if you carry that novel, and then if you read that novel in the staff room, or if you sit on the staircase as a student, as a teacher, if you go out and then sit under the tree and then read a novel, then 10 children will come to you. Ma'am, what is it you are reading? Oh, I am reading this novel. This is really nice. Whether it is Telugu, English, Hindi, doesn't matter. Oh, I really love this. Would you like to have it? So, ma'am, we would like to have it. So, for example, we tried to introduce book reading session. It was a very disappointing affair. Many students are not interested to read at all. Then what is the use? One day I went to, I don't name the college, one day I went to a college, and then I saw a lot of books are around. Then people are only mugging up the answers from the guides or the notebooks. Then are you in the colleges only to write the examinations? Certainly not. If you were to be my teacher, I would ask you, ma'am, what is it you are reading? What are your hobbies? Then how do you manage your hobbies? How do you nurture your hobbies? How do you improve your hobbies? Can you please share with me? So that, or ma'am, do you find anything good in me? So please tell me, or please connect me to a person, or show me a book, or tell me a book I will buy. I will cajole my parents to buy a book. So these are some of the things which I experience. It's a very common sense actually, but a lot of us we have demolished that common sense, unfortunately. So because we are a highly distracted generation, so every time you want to see whether there is a missing call, or whether there is a WhatsApp, how many charts I have missed in WhatsApp, then whether there are any likes for our Facebook, or whether emoji this or this or this. So all these things are distracting us seamlessly. So I think and another thing is, it might look very cruel, but people will remember you forever. You have to be ruthless when you assess, and at the same time we have to be empathetic also, but you have to give as many problems to the students as possible, so that they struggle. You go to neurology. What is memory? What is experience? It's all about the formation of pathways. A neuron, those of you who are scientists, science, you say axon, dendrite is nothing but a synapse. So formation of new synapses, synaptogenesis, neurogenesis. Synaptogenesis is nothing but memory. So you create so many pathways, but when will you create these pathways? Only when you are challenged. Yes. What is challenge? Challenge is a continuous bombarding of your brain with the stimuli, seamless stimuli. What is stimuli? Stimuli is a challenge. Like suddenly you ask me to, oh, okay, Praveen Kumar, now there is no power, but still you have to communicate your ideas. Then that is a challenge you have posed me. Then I asked Dr. Mamidala, so can you please tell me how do we do it, and then 100,000 problems, 100,000 pathways, and then finally we come with the solution. This experience I will never forget in my life. Sir. So just to tell you, briefly, that's what I think.
Sir, you have really posed an important solution to our teachers to leave the class with 3 questions every day.
Yes.
And definitely the students will start thinking, and then learning process will happen, and our classrooms also will become more vibrant with this small little thing that we do. And I really like, sir, you said that teaching is nothing like directing a movie. You said.
Absolutely.
So a lot of so once I'm a director, I definitely want to create a movie which is
a blockbuster, right? So
yes.
You want to create another Bahubali every day. You want every Bahubali, everyone wants to create a Bahubali.
Sir, during my visit very recently I visited Jangam, sir. There I was so happy when students were sharing. They love their chemistry teacher. I'm not taking the name again, because this teacher discusses day-to-day affairs with them.
Very nice.
For 15-20 minutes, it seems she has opened up, and then once they are eagerly waiting when she would start the general discussion after the chemistry class. So some of our teachers are really doing, sir, and I hope that everybody would take some learning from this and start doing small little things from today. Sir, one interesting question, Mamidala garu. So what do you think is more important, to teach how to read or why to read?
Yeah, ma'am.
Because most of our teachers, as sir was also sharing, we are only trying to give them how to read and then push them to that 35% marks margin, or rather how to read.
Yeah, ma'am, this is really a very interesting question for me, because people always think how to read, but I am against to that question how to read. You should make your students why to read. You should make the students, it may be history, it may be commerce or chemistry or botany or whatever. They should feel why I have to read this particular subject or why I have to read this particular lesson.
Curiosity needs
Curiosity. You have to generate the curiosity into the students, and you have to generate the creativity in the students. That's how when students think that yeah, if I learn something new from this, I can address so and so challenges. I'll tell you a very simple example, because way back when I was a student in 1993, a teacher taught me phycology, the study of algae, where she asked me a question: if you store water for a longer time in a bucket, and you will find the slippery nature in the bucket. So why it happens? So it's all because of the algae it will grow. Then how it grows and why it grows in the water is without starting a lecture about algae. She has given the questions to us.
Okay.
Then we realize that yeah, why it's growing. Then we get into this book, and we found that yeah, this is the algae. The spores will come and will fall in the water, and they'll eventually grow, and later it will develop into thallus, and that's where it becomes slippery. So when you make any student, it not be a botany, but any subject per se. If you make any student to think why, then definitely they'll understand the subject. Otherwise, if you simply come to a class and if your teacher simply go ahead with a regular traditional teaching, student will be a passive learners. They never learn when you simply go for teaching.
Also,
So,
just
yeah.
to add to Dr.
Yes, sir.
Mamidala's point, as a teacher, great teachers will always plant the great dreams in the minds of all the students, not great students. So great teachers always carry a lot of dreams. You know, the ice cream seller, Creamstone ice cream. You know, they sell so many varieties of ice creams. They sell so many varieties of ice creams to the customers. Similarly, a great teacher will carry a bag of dreams every day, and then he or she will sell those dreams to the students. Like, you know, two of you are my students. Oh, Dr. Padmavathi, you seem to be absolutely brilliant, and then you need to go to, say, Johns Hopkins University or Chennai Statistical Institute, and then there you have great professors, and then you will be a best fit student in that Chennai Statistical Institute, and one fine morning you will go and then you work in Princeton, and then you will become next Albert Einstein. And similarly, Dr. Mamidala, so you seem to be very good in biology, and then you go deeper and then read these books, and then I will give it in writing. Then one day you will be landing in University College of London, and then from there you will go to University of Chicago, and then Nobel laureate. For that you need to know what are the great institutions, what is the trajectory. So if you plant on, like for example, everybody need not go to Princeton, and then you can always talk, okay, Lakshmi or Tejaswini. So today you seem to be running very well, and then I know who is a great coach. Pillal Gopchand is a great coach. Nagpur Ramesh is a great coach, and then he has tutored so many people, and one day you can become a great sports person. Like Maunika, you seem to be a very good speaker. So I think if you meet, one day I'll take you to one of the ex-MLAs of our area, so you understand the problems of the people, then you speak very well, and then you have these modulations. I think one day you will become a great politician. You plant the dreams, and then children are so naive, and then they are so nascent in their thinking. They will never forget these dreams, and then they conform to the standard. That's what Pygmalion effect is all about. In Pygmalion effect, you keep on raising the bar gradually, and then people also start conforming to the bars. I am not playing placebo here. I am playing Pygmalion. In Pygmalion, you keep on increasing the bar gradually, and then children also start conforming to the bar. So, and slowly you use rewards, and then you use punishment, reward and punishment. Okay, so suppose somebody has done a very tough assignment today, you make entire class clap for her. That's enough. So somebody has not done it, so you say, okay, I don't want to admonish you, but you please come and meet me in my staff room. I would like to talk to you because I thought that you are a great student, but I am really disappointed today. You have spoiled my day because I had a lot of opinion. I shared a lot of good things about you with the principal. My staff members, we always talk about you. Today it's so disappointing that you have underperformed. So what's the reason? Is everything okay, or is all well at home? So are you okay, or are you into kind of accidental relationship with someone? So let me understand and try to. I also have gone through all these problems, but I could come out successfully.
Yes.
So I can help you share all this. So you add emotions, and then you add your personal stories, and then you keep on raising the bar. I think you don't have to really work very hard. They will learn on their own. So that is what I just wanted to add. So great teachers will also plant great dreams in the minds of students. Yeah.
Sir, Praveen Mamidala, to continue that, you have been working and then as a student, as a teacher in university and elsewhere. How do you think we can bring in this project-based learning into our institutions?
Yeah, ma'am, this is really again a heart-touching question to me. The reason is, on paper, as per the UGC norms, every student has to do a project work when they are in the final year. But unfortunately, majority of colleges in India, they are not doing the project work. The reason is the teacher never show interest what are the projects they have to pick up. So once there is a serious brainstorming on the local problems, or at the state level problems, or at the national level problems, or at the international level problems, what is the problem if they can identify? I am sure it is very easy to do or any project work. But before doing that, a teacher and student should have a very good interaction on how to solve that problem, number one. If at all you want to solve those problems, and what are the methodologies to solve the problem, and what are the pitfalls, or what is that you are going to expected outcome of the project. If all these things in the mind, and again if you create a very good timeline for this project, I am sure you can take a mini project for 3 months, or a good project for 1 year, preferably when they start thinking on project from first year. Unfortunately, in the degree system across the India, they will do a project work when they are in the 6th semester,
Yes.
when they have very, very less time, and just for the namesake, they will go to a small industry or a small lab, and they'll get some data, and they'll write it, then they'll submit, and they'll get the marks. So what I am planning is, from last year we tried doing this, and since August, many of the colleges, they have started the project dissertation or project works within their college, identifying problems. This time we have asked the students to come out with the question.
Okay.
In Indian academics, a teacher will give a question. That is a very wrong way. So last year, in the month of July, we asked teachers, can you ask your students to come out with questions?
Yes.
So students have came with some questions, and now the students have identified how to solve the questions, and they are doing this. I hope in month of March or April, they should be able to complete the project.
So that is really nice. Even in fact, we have also, when we were giving some sort of orientation to our teachers, usually teachers get scared that, I'm already pressed with teaching and all that, way to guide projects. So we have given them a small little input like, project is for student, not for the teacher. Teacher will have to only be a, facilitator there.
Guide.
No need to do a project. You need not even think of a problem. And the takeaway from the project, for an undergraduate student, is that they will build the habit of reading, they will build the habit of writing. They will have to read something on their own and write something on their own. We have in fact guided our teachers not to evaluate their writing also. Let them write whatever they want to write. Let them present the project. There are obviously no marks also. University did not, fortunately this is one learning, sir, in our institutions, which students need not have the stress of getting O grade, B grade, A grade and all that. So, but still we see that many teachers are not taking up this project works in our institutions.
No, we have to make it mandatory. That's one of the reasons why we are having this interaction session with all our lecturers. That we are going to, like most of the ideas that are floating around here on this table in this session are going to become part of our academic policy, and then we are also going to have groups, and then we are going to have teaching assistants, and we are going to mandatory projects every teacher has to produce, and then all these things will be graded, and then we are going to initiate personal files. All the primarily every teacher will be graded on the basis of her contribution, by way of encouraging the students to do projects, encouraging the students to talk about the current issues, and encouraging the students to go to the basics and reinventing the entire learning process, and then doing as many experiments as possible in pedagogy. So all these things will be factored into into the deciding who is the best teacher and who is not. Yeah, this is going to be a policy. Yeah.
So just to add this, ma'am, recently secretaries are also approved, and a very important thing for all the degree lecturers. Almost we have more than 600 lecturers who have joined into our social welfare residential degree colleges through TSPSC and the TREIRB, and out of them around 200 to 250 teachers are with the PhD and also postdoc experience. I request all the teachers in all the colleges to apply for some projects like Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, AICTE, or
even a
NCTE,
state council also,
or State Council for Higher Education. So we have the UGC CERO, the Southeastern Regional Office back in Hyderabad. And also, I am happy to inform you all, my friends, Secretary Sir has approved recently that we are going to give a 1 lakh seed money if any teacher is interested to carry out a project work. The only thing is they have to apply a proposal to us with a very good which contains a good rationale and justification, and whatever the methodologies you do, a committee will screen those proposals, and we are ready to fund the teachers who can do the projects. And when just now Padmavathi ma'am is telling that designing projects is a very simple, my friends. You can pick up the projects from the own textbooks. There is no need to, or your own practicals. There is no need to go and download some research projects or proposals from internet, or looking into articles, or you can looking into review articles. No. You can simply prepare a project from your own textbooks, or from your own syllabus, or from your own practicals. That's what they can do.
As simple as
there is no shortage of money also.
There is no shortage of money.
There is no shortage of money. So government is very liberal, particularly on residential degree colleges of all societies. So we will be very happy if you have a compelling project. I think we will cut down our expenditure at some place, and we will reallocate that money to your project, and we will be very happy to support you. And if you need to present that project in some forum, even if it is international forum, we will be very happy to take permission from the government and send you abroad. Sir, you and your students, both.
Excellent, sir. That's really very nice thing you have shared. Sir, as Praveen Mamidala was also telling, we have, in our teachers, sir, we have a pool of teachers who are extraordinarily good. So how can this mentoring happen among our teachers? Would you please suggest something?
Very good question, ma'am. Thank you so much for asking this question. It is very relevant, and then very important and urgent as well. Yes, we do have, like we have just discussed, in the normal distribution, you have both the extremes, and you have outstanding, intrinsically motivated teachers, and then we have teachers who are struggling. So what I would suggest is, as academic wing heads of the academics of higher education, both of you have to identify those passionate and then experimental and then curious and innovative teachers, and tag them to those tag them to the colleges or the groups of teachers according to their subjects, and make them visit these schools, and then we'll pay for TA, DA, and then we'll give a mentor allowance also. That's not a big issue at all. We don't have, as I have already told you, that there is no shortage of money for all these activities. We can give mentor allowance, we can take care of TA, we can take care of DA, and then probably once in a fortnight, if these people informally come together and then discuss about the problems that they have been facing, both the guest teachers and then the regular teachers. So, and this teacher can share the experiences. She can informally, she can sit in their classrooms and then be a non-participant observer, quietly, and then take them back to the staff room, and then there can be a one-on-one counseling as well. But it has to be a mutually contributory process. It has to be a two-way process. You cannot be, if Dr. Padmavathi is my mentor, then I should be very happy to learn from her. So I cannot be, okay, who is she, why is she intruding into my privacy and all. Then you will never grow. You will never grow, and then one fine morning, system finds you as a not really desirable and not really acceptable person, and then you will be ejected, or you will be isolating yourself, and then I think you will be a burden on the system. So you also need to have that kind of curiosity and then willingness to learn, and then mentors will always be available, and then we can give a special allowance to mentors so that they can happily share all the things. And then if mentors want to see some of the best practices in the great universities of this country, we'll be very happy to share, sponsor their travel, sponsor their accommodation, boarding and lodging, and then everything. And if they want to stay in those universities for 2 to 3 days and then listen to those great professors, then we'll be very happy to sponsor all the costs. They don't have to put anything. Yeah. So mentor-mentee is very important, ma'am. So absolutely.
So now the problem is to identify the mentors.
Yeah, just to add here to all the lecturers who are watching this show, 2 weeks back we have sent a Google form to collect the information like whether you have a postdoc degree, whether you have a research experience, whether you published some papers or whether you have edited some books, all the stuff we have asked the teachers, and out of 900 we received only 630 from all the colleges. I request all the principals and lecturers to fill that Google form so that we will try to identify the best mentors from the Google form.
Mentors are like our superstars.
Yes, sir.
On your image only the entire institution runs. It's not based on Padmavathi or Praveen Kumar or Praveen Mamidala. No. We are only the facilitators. You are the superstars. If mentors, if you want to go to other universities, even across the border, then present your papers, and then if you want to reinvent teaching every day, and then if you want to give public lectures, you don't have to spend even a penny from your pocket. We will be very, very happy to sponsor all your trip, and then we will showcase you as our superstar, as a rock star. So most of the great universities in the world, not all lecturers are great in those universities. Only a few lecturers, a few professors, they are great. They write the books, university sponsors the writing. They go for public lectures, university sponsors. Then they go for top-notch research projects, university sponsors. So like that, this department also sponsors. We can convince our Honorable Minister, and then we can still get the permissions done. Then don't worry about that. We want to project you as a rock star of our campus. So based on your image, entire student population comes into, okay, I go to Padmavathi ma'am, I go to Praveen sir, so I will become like this. Then I will become a great biologist, I will become a great mathematician. So if you are in their hand, like for example in Ashok Nagar, you go to Balalata, you become a civil servant. You go to R.C. Reddy, you become a civil servant. So one of the services you get, that kind of image these rock stars should be maintaining in their career, and then we will be very happy to promote such rock stars in our campuses. This is out of pure passion I am telling you. Very, very happy to promote such rock stars. But first you should be willing to become a rock star. So you cannot be dilly-dallying on this aspect. Oh, if I say mentor, now they are saying mentor, tomorrow they are saying rock star, so I may have to make 3 more night owls, and then I may have to go to other colleges, and then what will happen to my family? That is your problem. So everybody has volunteered to come into the profession, not because we had no choice. No, we have volunteered to come to this place. So in such case, how do you make most out of what is available, and then how do you make the best out of it? So is something which you should all be thinking about. Yeah, I think we'll take some questions from the field.
Yes, sir. If any. Sir, until we get that question from somebody, sir. Your very name is inspiring to so many of us, sir. Even, I mean, wherever I visit, students keep, saying that at least one glimpse if I can get of sir before I pass out from
so
this.
Kind of them actually.
Sir, because it is mainly because you, wherever you go, you spread this, I say that color of knowledge, wisdom, empathy, love.
With whatever I know.
Yeah. So I just want to know, sir, I mean, you work with so much of passion. How can we teachers become so passionate? What is the secret behind? What keeps you?
This is a very tough question, probably in the entire interaction.
Sir, because the way you work, and really, we want to learn those tips, sir.
Ma'am, every time, when I think we have a call, so maybe, Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Yes?
Hello, madam.
Please introduce yourself and you can
I am asking one question, madam.
Yes.
How the teacher gain the experience of teaching in new method, either through time of experience or thinking of the teaching with multi-dimensional approach.
Okay.
Teaching
Sir,
with multi-dimensional approach.
okay, I understood. Would you please tell from which college you are? No need of
Praveen sir told us, madam. To teach.
Rangareddy, principal
Ah,
from
okay.
Rangareddy. Okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. Sir, would you like to answer? He is asking about how can a teacher gain experience? Does it come with time as time passes, or a multi-dimensional?
No, I think it's both. Experience is, it is across time and space both. So it has a time dimension and then spatial dimension as well. So one is, of course, over a period of time, as you grow in your life and you gain a lot of experience, and it adds into your long-term memory and then short-term memory, and then that's what we call as experience. And if there is any stimuli, you respond, so that's called as behavior. So that is experience. And then multi-dimensional is something which is voluntary, unless you have a strong purpose. I'm coming back to the question Dr. Padmavathi has just asked. What makes you what you are today? I think it is what I believe is the purpose. So I am trying to understand what is the why of my life. WHY. What is why of my life? Why did my parents bring me into this world? Then why did they sacrifice everything for my sake? Why did my teachers contribute
Sir, can
everything
you
to my...
One more question.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. Hello. Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. Yes, please. Yeah.
Please
we are
keep
able
asking.
to hear.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Please ask your question.
లేదు మేడం, చాలా ప్రోగ్రామ్ వస్తుంది కదా, అక్కడ మాట్లాడుతున్నాను చూసాను. మన ప్రైవేట్ మార్కెట్ సార్ వస్తున్నారు, ప్రోగ్రామ్ మాట్లాడుతున్నాను. టీవీ ఆన్ చేస్తే ప్రోగ్రామ్ వస్తుంది.
మాట్లాడండి సార్, మీరు చెప్పండి.
మీరు చెప్పండి, మీరు ఏం అడగదలుచుకున్నారు ప్రవీణ్ కుమార్ గారిని?
మేడం, ఇప్పుడు సార్ వచ్చిన నుంచి నేను బిఫోర్ స్టూడెంట్ క్లబ్.
ఓకే.
అయితే సార్ వచ్చిన నుంచి స్కూల్స్ బాగా నడుస్తున్నాయి అండ్ టీచర్స్ ఏదో బాగా వర్కింగ్ చేస్తున్నారు మేడం. సార్ తోటి షేర్ చేసుకున్నామని.
థ్యాంక్ యూ శంకర్ గారు, చాలా చాలా ధన్యవాదాలు. అంటే మా టీచర్లు నిజంగా వాళ్ళ కుటుంబాలను కూడా త్యాగం చేసి, వాళ్ళ సుఖాలను కూడా త్యాగం చేసి ఈ బిడ్డల కోసమే వాళ్ళ జీవితాన్ని ధారపోస్తున్నారు. అయితే అందులో భాగంగా మీరు కూడా వీళ్ళకు కొంచెం రికగ్నిషన్ ఇవ్వాలి. ఊర్లలోకి వచ్చినప్పుడు మంచిగా జులూస్ తీయాలి. తర్వాత వీళ్ళని కూడా మంచిగా, మీరు ఎంతో మందికి ఫ్లెక్సీలు కడుతుంటారు. టీచర్ల బొమ్మలు పెట్టి ఎందుకు కట్టకూడదు? టీచర్ల పేరు మీద మీరు గల్లీలు టీచర్ల పేరు మీద ఎందుకు పెట్టకూడదు? తర్వాత మీ బిడ్డలకు టీచర్ల పేర్లు ఎందుకు పెట్టకూడదు? ఇవన్నీ కూడా మిమ్మల్ని ఇన్స్పైర్ చేసిన వ్యక్తులను కొంచెం వాళ్ళకు కూడా మీరు రికగ్నిషన్ ఇవ్వాలి కదమ్మా. ఇచ్చినప్పుడే వాళ్ళకి ఇంకా బాగా చేయాలనిపిస్తుంది. మన టీచర్లకు ఇచ్చే జీతం ఎంత అండి? చాలా తక్కువ. వాళ్ళు మరి రోజు పొద్దున్న లేచినప్పుడు సాయంత్రం వరులుతూనే ఉంటారు వాళ్ళు. మరి అందుకొరకు మనం బాగా వీళ్ళకు గౌరవం ఇవ్వాలి. పొద్దున్న లేచినప్పటి నుంచి పంచాయతీ పెట్టుకుంటే ఏమొస్తుంది చెప్పండి? సో అయినా అంటే నేను ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే, టీచర్లు నిజంగా అంటే కొంత ప్రాబ్లం ఉంటుంది సిస్టంలో. ఏ సిస్టంలో ప్రాబ్లం ఉంటుంది చెప్పండి? అమెరికాలో ఉంటుంది, ఆస్ట్రేలియాలో ఉంటుంది. సో బట్ టీచర్లకు ఇవ్వాల్సిన గౌరవము, ఆ రికగ్నిషను, ఆ స్థానము వాళ్ళందరికీ ఇస్తే ఇంకా బాగా చెప్తారు. ఇంకా వేల మంది లక్షల మంది శంకర్లను తయారు చేస్తారు.
హలో.
I think it got disconnected.
హలో.
సో
ఎస్, చెప్పండి మీరు.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Respected Secretary sir, and we are watching this program. We are very happy and we are enthusiastic in listening many things, madam.
yes sir.
Please.
Which college are you from?
I am Satish Gaur from Park Institution, Nagaram, sir, Hyderabad.
Yes sir. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, for faculty members, it is a transition period from routine method to the upgraded method.
Yes.
We have been listening.
Yes.
Then what are the steps we can take to mobilize all the staff members from one system to the other system?
Sir, it's a very good question. I will answer in a very brief manner. One is, talk to all the staff members as frequently as possible. We have something called weekly academic strategy meeting. So in all schools and junior colleges, we have weekly academic strategy meeting where all teachers come together informally and where they are expected to discuss about a problem. Okay, discuss about the teaching problem. I'm not talking about other things. Discuss about a teaching problem. If you have to teach a particular topic, so then a kind of preparation of vaccine, let's say, if you go to biology. So how do you prepare a vaccine? So what is antigen, what is antibody, all that. So you have to decompose the entire topic into smaller and smaller and then smaller and then simple subtopics. Then find a logical meaning. So in other words, all those methods, all those techniques of teaching have to be discussed with all the staff members on a regular basis. A. B. Demystifying the teaching process. Teaching process is not a rocket science. I have already told you, it's a writing a script, finding the actors, finding the characters, drawing the relationship between different characters, creating a plot, and coming to a turning point. After that, taking the entire teaching into a climax. Then follow up. Follow up is nothing but assessment. Okay. So if you discuss these things regularly, informally and formally in your classrooms, then a lot of in the staff rooms and the principal's room, and sometimes non-participant observation in the classrooms, and talking to the students like which teacher is doing well, which teacher is not doing well, not to be judgmental on the people, but just to improve the topic, improve the process of teaching and learning. I think if you more simplify and then tell the topic to the students, probably it will really, and then also go beyond the classroom. And then what these two officers who are sitting next to me, what they are saying is make it more experiential, make it more project oriented. So as a principal, as a teacher, we expect you to be more freedom loving and then go to different areas, but justified freedom. A freedom cannot be masqueraded, or cannot be a freedom for just freedom's sake, but justified freedom, probably it will definitely bring in a lot of culture. So overnight a culture won't change, sir, but you have to be continuously trying continuously a new method, and taking everyone along, and then encouraging the people who are getting results, and then also encouraging the people who are struggling yet closer to the results. So all those people you should be constantly encouraging, and then
so
definitely
one
yes,
more question.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. So
okay.
Encouraging people continuously, probably you think you will be definitely bringing that cultural change. And then, like for example, whatever we are today, it is 8 to 10 years of hard work. It is not a overnight development. So we started simplifying things. We started training people formally and informally. We started training attenders. We started training cooks. We started training the parents. So everybody started speaking same language. If I say flipped classroom, today my TGT understands, my principal also understands.
Yes.
So if I say pre-reading, then the principal understands and the degree college lecturer also understands.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, madam. I'm speaking from TTWREIS, Jagadgi.
Yeah. Please, ma'am.
I have one question to Praveen Kumar, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, actually, I studied in a Central University in Hyderabad, and after completing my PhD in the university, I joined the college in Hyderabad.
Yes, ma'am.
To serve the students, and I'm really happy about it. But my question to you is, in the Central University, basically we have freedom to do whatever we can, we should. Like, we do not have any stress in the universities, especially in the central universities and in various institutions. But do you have any plans to de-stress the colleges that we are working in?
I think it's a very good question. Thank you so much for asking this question, ma'am. So I think there is not much of stress. If you are really stressed out and think these are the colleges would not have been like this. I think people are working with a lot of passion. So stress is all about how do you look at your life. If you think it is stressful, then it becomes stressful. If you enjoy it, and then it won't become stressful at all. So it all depends on how you look at it. So if you really feel stressed, then every small activity also becomes stressful. So in Hyderabad Central University also same thing might be happening. So but it all depends on how you look at it. So for example, if staying in the night with the students for 2 days in a week, if it is stressful, if you think it is stressful, it is definitely a stressful affair. If you think that it's an opportunity to peep into the minds of the students, peep into the lives of students, I think it's the most pleasurable activity. And if you think it's an opportunity to emancipate these people from centuries-old slavery, I think it is a divine activity. It won't be a stressful activity. So I'm yet to, I know a lot of people in Central University, a lot of my friends are working in Central University. So I think I don't see any difference between the lecturers who are in my university and then in my colleges and then the Central University. I just don't see any difference. And then in future, these colleges are going to surpass Hyderabad Central University. I have that hope and then vision.
Hello.
Hello. Good
Yes.
morning, madam.
Good morning. Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I am Harish B. DL in Physics from TTWREIS Degree College, Mangalore, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I am very happy to be part of TTWREIS, sir.
Thank you very much.
And happy to be a leader, happy to have a leader like you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, my question is, the teaching learning environment is effective when we definitely maintain a rapport with the students.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And we have to find out their cognitive perspective, at the same time their intellectual abilities, their skills. Then only it will be more effective, sir.
Very good, very good.
At the same time, whenever it comes to completion of syllabus, maybe at the ending of the completion of syllabus, it may be something lagging, sir. So where we concentrate more on completion of syllabus rather than concentrating on that particular student. So how it can be managed, sir? How can it be balanced so that it will be more effective?
Harish sir, so I have never told anyone to complete syllabus for no reason. Like syllabus is only a guideline. So it is for the teacher to decide how to handle the content. Syllabus completion, the very word is very scary and very dangerous, because once you are into that syllabus completion mode, you will be doing grave injustice to the students. So I want you to deal with a topic in its entirety, even if it takes couple of things more, periods more, that's okay. So the easiest and commonsensical way of handling the syllabus completion dragon is divide entire syllabus into low hanging fruits and high hanging fruits. Low hanging fruits are the topics which students can handle on their own and with a little bit of guidance and nudging, and the high hanging fruits are those things which are little complex and which you can handle, which you have to handle by doing a lot of research and then simplifying them and then going to the classroom and then dealing with almost personalize the learning. So these are two ways of handling things. But if you get into syllabus completion mode, you will be only preparing the students to become a rote learners and then burden on the nation. So please don't get into syllabus completion mode. You enjoy what you are teaching, but one rider, prepare well when you go to classroom. Bring in a lot of variety, bring in a lot of currency, bring in a lot of credibility to the content.
So now the questions flow is not stopping.
Yeah, but let it
Hello.
You have one more question, ma'am.
Hello. Yes. Please go on.
This is P. Venkatasnam, Principal, Tribal Degree College, Maripadam.
Yes. Venkatratnam garu, question cheppandi.
Good morning, all of you, sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
Sir, today topic is very good, sir. Let's be true teacher. Sir, our degree college age is only 3 years, sir. So our teachers, lecturers are dealing with the students very, role is very important and it is very challenging, sir. Because our shadows, the students in the classroom are coming from first generation of the education families. So sir, can you give any suggestion to our teachers in view of our students, sir?
Yeah, thank you Venkatratnam for asking this question, particularly for the colleges for men and the colleges for women also. I think teachers have to stay closer to the teachers have to stay closer to the students because this is the age where parents do not know what is the children are learning. Neither they have the knowledge or time and money to come to your college and then inquire what their children are doing and what they are learning. So they have just left them with you so that you will shape them up in the most appropriate manner. So in such case, you should take the responsibility informally. We are not giving mass to what is the amount of responsibility that you have taken. No, but as a human being, as an adult, it is your responsibility to give them good choices. For example, let me tell you, I had learnt smoking from one of my professors. I did not find drinking as a bad habit, because one of my senior professors, who has become a dean now, so he used to share with us what kind of brand of liquor he drank yesterday, and then, oh, Peter Scott is so good, oh, McDowell's, they have come with a new brand, and then he used to share with the students. And then when you go to hostel in the evening, we used to spend all that stipend to buy that McDowell brand whiskey. What is the use? So as a teacher, I expect you to be a very good role model. So you cannot be sharing with, you cannot be, you cannot be giving a misogynistic comments, or you cannot be telling all the bad and undesirable things to the students. You should be extremely responsible when you interact with the students. So then they pick up a lot of good things. If you are chalo yaar aaj jaake maja kar lenge, vanabhojanam cheddaamu, auto తీసుకొని పోదాము, రెండు బాటిల్ కూడా పట్టుకురండి అని పిల్లలకు డబ్బులు ఇస్తే వాడు తీసుకొని వస్తాడు వైన్ షాప్కి పోయి. రేపొద్దున వాడు అబ్బాయి గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ కాలేజీలో కూడా తాగుతాడు, తర్వాత సో దారు విత్ దావత్ లాగా అయిపోతుంది స్టోరీ. సో దాని తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ వాడు తండ్రి అవుతాడు, తర్వాత భర్త అవుతాడు, తర్వాత తండ్రి అవుతాడు, తర్వాత పిల్లలకు కూడా పరంపర అంటాం కదా, same thing becomes a tradition. So what is that you have taught him? Nothing. All bad habits. So if you say, okay, no, I have to go to content, I have to read this novel, I have to complete this, I have to bring this knowledge to, and I have read this novel, and it is so nice. Let us read this novel. And kotta book is there, పిల్లవాడు కొత్త బుక్ చదువుకొని వస్తాడు. So it's all up to the teacher and how you mold. Children are like, they might look like little boisterous, but that is the age where your hormones are acting very vigorously on your body. That's okay. But it is all for you to, cajole them and then nudge them towards a good behavior. So this is where the smartness lies. You need to be extremely patient. You need to be extremely smarter. Then only you will be able to, mold this generation. Otherwise, yesterday we had a case of, suicide attempt in one of the colleges, women colleges. What is that we have done? So you need to be, sometimes some cases are extremely disturbing, but you need to be extremely patient, you need to be counseling, you need to be sharing your own personal stories, you need to be sharing the stories of your own colleagues, and slowly bring them to a correct path, and one fine morning they will realize. That is what, so you need to maintain that relationship. That's the essence of teaching and learning.
Sir, in maintaining the relationship, when you said the Quest program is one of the beautiful programs in our institutions.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, Quest program is one of the most impactful programs we have had. Yeah.
Hello, this one.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, madam. Very good afternoon, sir. This is Sumalaka from Nirmal Social Welfare Degree College.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Very good afternoon, sir. And I'm very happy and glad to work in social welfare institutions under your supervision and dynamic leader like you. And on behalf of our students, we say thanks to Secretary Sir for providing very good opportunities, facilities in pursuing higher education in terms of conducting various camps, providing internship programs and financial support. So thus we are motivating students to participate, means they can participate in internship programs, they can apply higher education programs. But it is very difficult to change the mindsets of their parents.
Parents, I agree with
parents. It's a very challenging thing for us to change the parents' mindset. So how we can, means what are the ways to what we can
do to ma'am, it's a absolutely, ma'am. You have really hit the nail right on its head. So it's very important. I'm so happy that you have brought in a very relevant point. Changing parents is not an easy job, but for that you need to be radical. You need to be a tough taskmaster. As a teacher, if you challenge the parents, we are going to support you to the hilt. Absolutely, like you take the control of the lives of the children into your hands, then even if parents object also, we are going to support the teacher but not the parents. Okay, parents will have 101 concerns, but you have to dispel them step by step, giving the information, bringing the role model and showing the great future. And then there are financial concerns. So look, we have a society office, we have alumni relations, we have this program, that program. So let us talk to those people, and then if there is no possibility, then we will go to alumni networks. So you have to be all in one. Then you will be able to change the parents, but overnight it is not going to happen. In some parents who are abusive, particularly towards women, particularly towards girls, దీనికి పెళ్లి చేసి పంపించేస్తే అయిపోతే ఏంది ఎక్కువ మరుగుతున్నది అన్న పేరెంట్స్ని కూడా నేను చూశాను మ్యామ్. సో ఒక అమ్మాయి పైలట్ అవుతే, పైలట్ తెలంగాణ ఏవియేషన్ అకాడమీలో వస్తే తండ్రి ఆ అమ్మాయిని ఇంట్లో పడేసి బయట నుంచి బోల్ట్ వేసుకొని పోయి నువ్వు ఎవరితోనైనా ఎగిరిపోతావు, నా ఇజ్జత్ పోతుంది అని చెప్పి పోయిన తల్లిదండ్రులు కూడా చూశాను. బట్ యూ నీడ్ టు బి వెరీ పేషెంట్ మ్యామ్. You need to be very patient, and you need to be radical, you need to be rebel, and you need to be kind of twist your you need to really flex your muscles, and then take care of the lives of these students, and then these children will remember you throughout your life. For example, my sister, my mother said my sister was not doing well initially. So my mother said, okay, let us send her to a teacher training institution. I said, teacher training institution is good, but probably if you give more force, more accommodation, more support, probably she might become a doctor. And then I brought her to Hyderabad. I was a student, my sister was also a student. So I brought her to Hyderabad. I joined her in I rebelled in my home. I am telling you, I rebelled in my home. I brought her here, and then with all the support we gave her, she became a doctor. So now she is running a very good hospital in Vikarabad. So what I am trying to tell you, ma'am, so you have to be that brother, you have to be that savior, you have to be that mentor, you have to be that philosopher, you have to be that prophet in the lives of these students. Then only you will be making a lot of changes. A lot of my classmates who are about to die, in relationship, who are about to become drunkards, all those people have been saved by the teachers, not by the colleagues. So teachers played a major role. Like, I would have become something else, but my teachers, Professor Narasimha Reddy, Professor Tej Bahadur Srivatsav, all these people, they said, no, there is a spark in you. You read Economist London, you read New York Times, you read this, you read that, you read this magazine, you read that magazine. And then they used to give old magazines, their own magazines to me, and then that is what made me, they shielded me they saved me from my relatives and then parents. And the same thing must be happening. You are absolutely right, ma'am. Your diagnosis is absolutely right. You have to change the parents, and it requires a lot of effort. And then from alumni relations, Dr. Praveen Mamidala and Prashanti and Padmavathi, all these people are trying to educate the parents. We have a future parenting institute as well. And yesterday we discussed with our honorable ministers in the nodal agency also. We are going to start a future parenting institute in social welfare and tribal welfare in the future.
Hello. Yes.
Good morning, ma'am and sir.
Good morning.
This is Sabit from Tribal Welfare Degree College, Kottagudem.
Yes, ma'am.
So really, I'm feeling very happy to speak to you once again. Like I was calling you previous time when 40-2020. I really want to grab the opportunity to interact with you always because you always rejuvenate us with your personal and professional experiences, sharing your personal and professional experiences. There is nothing question to you, but I just want to quote the few things that I really felt happy while listening to your words, sir. That problem writing and erasing theorem, that what ma'am has discussed with that. The same thing with being a zoology faculty and dealing with the genetics, which is one of the interesting topics sometimes. We do the same thing, that writing how the genes are being interacted and what is the outcome of it. And also, I just want to quote that what we have learned, that we have to apply and exploring deeper, adding the things of fortitude. We really say that teaching is not less than directing a movie. So we want to accept all these things, and I just want to say that you really rejuvenate us in every point by introducing all the new schemes and best opportunities to the students of curriculum. So once again, we want to promise you from our side that we will strive till the last drop of our blood to make our students to achieve their goals.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I also congratulate you for preparing a student like Anusha. I really enjoyed listening to her in Vargal Degree College. What an amazing speaker she is.
Yes.
She quoted so many things. Like even today, I cannot speak like her. And coming from a Bhadradri, Dumugudam area, the girl speaks so well, and it is but for her teachers, but for people like you preparing students like this, such kind of brilliance in front of thousands of people.
It's a flow,
it was such a seamless flow, without any hesitation, without any hindrance. I think you deserve all the praise, ma'am. It is not because of Praveen Kumar, Padmavathi, or Praveen Mamidala these societies are running. It is because of people like you who consider this as a divine opportunity. If you consider it as a stressful opportunity, if you start comparing, there is no end. There is no end. You will compare till the last moment. You compare. You keep on. The body releases as many cortisols as possible, and you will be perpetually under stress. If you consider it as a divine opportunity, body releases hormones like endorphin, then all those happy hormones, and then every day you feel rejuvenated, and then you contribute a lot to the growth of this country and growth of the students. So thank you so much once again for all the kind words. Yeah.
Sir, we are almost coming to the end of this session. Already you have shared, sir, what makes you so passionate about your profession. You have been talking, but once again, if you can just
anyway, well, let's start with Praveen Mamidala to wrap it up.
Ma'am, two things which I have not covered, I want to say to all the lecturers in the degree colleges. One important thing is our libraries are not good, meaning teachers since last 2.5 years, what I observed is they are giving a list of textbooks published by the Telugu Academy or some
Charan
Kalyani
publications,
publishers or Charan publications, Kalyani publications, and the same books since you are giving us, and we are procuring from central office and we are distributing the same. And from that again the teacher says that there is a syllabus change and we don't have books. Friends, at least from coming academic year, I request you all to list out the best of the best textbooks, maybe in 1 month time, take a month time, and if you can give us the very good list of reference books so that we can give us you 10 copies each. Let us say bye-bye to these Telugu Academy books and also the Kalyani or what are the other publishing books. If you can purchase a very good textbooks, I think we can give a very good library to all of our students. And number 2 is we are repeatedly requesting all the principals and the lecturers to organize seminars and also workshops. But very few colleges they are trying to get some funding from the say some academies or some.
We will give funding.
And also secretaries are also told that very clearly, if anyone is interested to organize a workshop by inviting a very good resource person, say from universities like Ashoka University, JNU, University of Hyderabad, if you can invite some very good, list out some good resource persons and organize a workshop for a day or 2 days, I think there is a place where there's lots of interaction goes between the resource persons and the students. That's a very good platform, I feel. So these 2 things I want to see from your side.
With regard to library books, sir, we have already formed committees and we have got the list of books. We have asked them to interact at one place, and they have come out with such very good books, like Bible for that subject. That sort of books they have identified. So we are
then we'll purchase all those.
At least 2 copies in each library.
2 copies is enough.
So it was a wonderful thing, sir, to be part of this session. It was an eye-opening for me also, many learning I am taking back. So as the title goes, it's a very simple but very powerful, let us be true teachers. So I would just like to quote from the Malayalam movie, Ustad Hotel. Sir, as the dialogue goes, he says that any cook can make food to fill the stomach, but the real cook fills your heart. Yeah, and if you can do that, he would be guiding the child there, then everybody will visit your restaurant. Absolutely. In the same way, sir, the teacher, they just does not come for providing knowledge alone, but they will have to give curiosity for their life.
Absolutely.
For a lifelong learning that can happen. They should be able to light a spark. I mean, these are the colors which they can add to the life of the student. And a thirst to learn. And I am sure, sir, a true teacher is always willing to walk that extra mile to reach to our students and leave that curiosity for a lifelong learning. Everybody keeps saying that Sir, I was just listening the other day. It seems if oxygen disappears for 5 seconds, as small as 5 seconds, the entire world is going to collapse. So can we think of a day where if there is no teacher, if all teachers will have to disappear, the whole system will collapse? But I mean, until and unless our teachers reach to that level, otherwise now nobody is thinking of teachers. We are looking at virtual classrooms, MOOCs, online. Soon our teachers could be replaced.
No, it's not going to happen.
Until and unless they, bring in that personal, as you were saying,
indispensability.
Yeah, indispensably. So we should be able to say that if all teachers disappear, then the whole world will collapse. So that should be the impact our teachers should create. And as you said, sir, many of the things are immediately doable. We will have to start quickly, and because as you always say, it is now or never. So we do take this message back, and I hope that all the degree college lecturers and principals who have been listening to this session would take this forward. It is ultimately you, the teachers at the ground level, would make a difference for us. Thank you so much for being part of this.
Thank you very much. We wish you all the very best, and then please give us an opportunity to celebrate your lives. Thank you very much. I wish you all the very best.
So I thank you very much all the viewers. Before you go to your classes, please think on 2 questions. Why I am here, what I can do for the society. If you get the answer, please stay with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.